In this video, I'm going to treat this as if you want to build an absolute bulletproof portfolio for 2025. Now, to me, let me know if you agree with this, a bullet portfolio to me covers all risks plus all rewards. Meaning, number one, and this is a very important when I think you build a bulletproof portfolio, is we don't just have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some large caps. Because yes, we'll make a decent amount of money, but in my opinion, we'll still miss kind of the returns that we would want, and it would kind of make us pissed off because we'll see some of these meme coins, small AI coins do super well, and we're there, almost like, shit, kind of sucks. I wish I had some of those coins. But number two is you're not just going after those coins, because if you do, that can also hurt you, because if they don't perform well or some of them just start just literally going to zero, that's a big problem because we also miss the bull run as well. So I think building a diverse portfolio is obviously super important. We have our categories. Number one is back to the wagey. And I don't think I'm going to put any coins in here, or I might put one when I'm looking at one right now. But I personally, I think most coins, if you buy today, unless they're not a pre-sale scam, which is hard to do right now, to be honest, but I don't think any of these coins, I'm just going to do the top line here, by the way, are going to be in the back to wagey. I think we'll all agree, most coins, if you bought today, you'll probably make money by 2025 if you exit it good. Now, here's how you go back to the wagey, real quick. You know how you go back to the wagey? E.g. Solana, just an example. You ride Solana up, and you ride it all the way back down. So, coins can make you a lot of money, and I always say this, somebody else can have a completely different experience than you buying the same coin. E.g. Solana, loads of people made loads of money, but the majority of people lost money. Same coin, different result. Luna, okay? Is it Luna Classic now? I forget, I don't even keep track of this. But again, same example. A lot of people made a lot of money. Unfortunately, some people, no longer with us, rest in peace, couldn't take it anymore. Literally, and I mean literally. That's the harsh reality of cryptocurrency. It's a very serious game because we're talking about money here. But again, you can have a different experience on coin. I'll give you one more example till we get in this video here. Sui, talked about this the other day. This has been absolute printing on the GG. Again, you could buy it today, it could go back down. We already made the money. But these are all for 2025, so we're not going to talk about trades. But I am going to give you a Brucey bonus. I'm going to put every single coin here on TradingView, and I'm going to show you how I would play it looking at the GG indicator, right? So for those of you who don't know, quick plug, you can check out the GG indicator below. It comes with our private community along with the DeFi Masterclass. That's enough selling on this video. I'm not here to sell you, but what I will do is I'll give you a peek of the GG if you were looking at maybe entries on how to time this differently. Okay, so maybe you can take some advice. You might find one of your coins is in red here, and it might actually be the potential of going down. But nothing's foolproof, as we know in this market. Let's get into the video. The first coin, we'll start nice and easy. Solana. Now, again, Solana can make you go back to the wagey. I'm not going to put it in this category, but if Solana has a great bull run and it pumps up to $1,000. And you're waiting for 1.5k because you need whatever reason of that 1.5k to, you've calculated all your goals. This Lamborghini costs this beach house costs this, and you need it to go to 1.5k to achieve all this. You will be back to the wagey very, very soon, because I don't think Solana is going to hit 1.5k. My opinion, let me know in the comments below if you agree with that. I think that is reasonable. Now, for me, I was struggling where to put this, because I was like, okay, it's probably going to do a 5x, right? It's probably going to do somewhat of a 2 to 5x. I think it'll beat the 2x. But then I was like, it still could do a 10x. Solana could still, you never know with Solana. This run, literally, just think about this, boys. Solana went from under $1 to 250. So if it was the last bull run, we'd have a god tier of a 250x. But again, market caps are a real thing. They are real. This is not going to go to trillions of dollars. So it definitely can't go up here anymore. But in the last bull run, same coin, different result. You understand what I'm saying? That's why we can't just buy Bitcoin anymore with $100. Back in the days, you'd be a multimillionaire if you could do that, because you pick up so many Bitcoin. Right now, I'm sure you'll agree, Bitcoin isn't going to give you a 10x in this bull run. So I was struggling where to put this. I think for me, my personal play with this Solana is really taking profits. And again, this might be conservative to some people, and I don't want this to, persuade you of not buying Solana. But I think, for me personally, I'm taking profits, initial profits at like $4.50. And I know that's low. I know that's low because your favorite YouTuber told you it was going to 1.5k, 1k. Does it mean I'm not taking some profits there? But just for my initials, 20%, 25%. I need to realize some profits in this bull run, brother. And I want you guys to do the same, because I don't want you guys to be holding for that magical 10x. And we get so close. Let's say we ride Solana up to 1.1k. You're waiting for the 1.2k to get your magical 10x. And you just fall short and you ride it all the way down. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. So I'm unfortunately going to have to put it in the 5x. Although I think 6, 7x is possible. But that's where I would put it. Now, great entry right now. Perfectly. Let's put it on the GG. Let's see where this bad boy would be sitting if we were looking at this on the 4 hourly. Now again, 4 hourly called this perfectly. About $132. Could have rid it up for 10 or so percent. Still in the green. Could be a good entry. But I would expect, you can see here, followed. It's literally mimicking the exact same trade here. You see how this is pretty much the exact same. Looks like the exact same. So we could see red. Just depends what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin starts to go absolute terrible, I mean terrible, like some people predicting 50Ks again, 55, even 40Ks, all these coins are going to be in the red. But again, you get to come back in here with fresh money if you're working hard on your income, and you get to deploy. That's the beautiful thing. Although nobody wants to talk about it because everybody wants to get rich tomorrow, you can still have more time in the market, right? That's just the reality of cryptocurrency. So that's where I would put it. I would put it about 5x, although I wouldn't be surprised if Solana does hit the $1,000 mark in this bull run. But again, you need a little bit more to get that 10x. So let me know in the comments below where you think it's going to be. And let's move on to ICP. Now ICP, I made this video before, I think about 8 months ago. And I think ICP scared me off a little bit. If I look at this chart, I was like, okay, not interested. But as I started to zoom in and really see what this project was about, I started to see some potential. Because this was heavily manipulated, man. If you know the story with ICP, heavily manipulated. Heavily manipulated. But as you start to zoom into the 1 year to date, you get a very different story. You see guys that were buying at $3, read it all the way up to 19, having a little bit of retracement right now. So that's where I think ICP, and again, it's a big market cap, but I think ICP, if you look at the previous all-time high, it could be that 20 to 50x. I'll put it at the 50x right now, but I think a 10 to 20x is more conservative. If we were to bring this on, the GG, we'll have a look at where it's at right now in terms of where it's sitting. And you can see here, don't know why I've got a big line here. Guess that was a wedge. But again, we are in green right now, although it's taking some heavy scrutiny. And again, man, we also have this GG indicator. Trying my best not to sell it to you. But don't you think this call pretty much mimicked this call? Again, you could have entered here at $7 or so, could have rid it up nicely for a good 20%. You could have came and shorted it, or you could have got back in. Guess what? Exact same game, 20%. So this could be the same game here, but we'll just see how this one plays out. Again, heavily dependent on what Bitcoin does. But I do think DC investors on ICP, you're not going to be sorry. Again, there's always a potential that ICP can just have something wrong with it, because again, as you start to zoom out, you see a lot of red on this chart. But again, can't argue where it's been. If you're one of the guys that bought on the big fallen wedge, you're going to have a different story with ICP. But if you came into ICP at $2, $3, $4, you're laughing, right? So ICP is a difficult one because it's been heavily manipulated since the launch. But again, ICP $8, great entry in my opinion. Even if it starts to go down to $4 or $5 again, I think $100 ICP is quite possible. Let's be honest. Let's move on. Polkadot. Now, DOT is one that I've never been interested in. I think Gavin Woods runs this project. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've never been interested in it, but doesn't mean I wouldn't buy it, right? Again, fantastic bull run. Almost copied Bitcoin's double peak. In fact, it literally just copied it exactly. A lot of these solid altcoins, if you go back on the charts, did exactly what Bitcoin did. So Bitcoin had its first pump, took a big dump, altcoins started to follow, and then Bitcoin started to go again. You got a second lifeline. And it just, smashed its all-time high of about $50. If you look at Polkadot right now, does it beat its all-time high? I think it does, bro. I think it beats its all-time high. But again, pushing for that kind of next category of a 50x, I'm probably going to say this quite a lot. You are stretching for it, man. You really are stretching for it. So again, Polkadot, let's have a look on the GG. Has just went to a green. Again, mimicked it. Could be another mimic coming. Again, pushed to about $5 or $6 on the shorter term. But longer term, I think you are going to be in that 10 to 20x. It's going to be quite safe. ADA is another one, man. And you're getting a lot of these OG coins that people were very bullish on in the last bull run. But again, nobody seems to talk about them. Charles Hoskinson, chugging away on YouTube, making YouTube videos, etc. Already a multi-millionaire, probably a billionaire. You never know with how much cryptocurrency this guy holds. Again, nobody seems to be talking about Cardano right now, but 35 cents, if we start to zoom back in on the monthly or even the yearly, not bad, man. Not bad where it's been. So ADA, from me, let's have a look at it on the GG, see where we're sitting. Pretty, I hope. Let's just have a look. Yeah, exact same thing. So a lot of these coins, I'm probably going to pull up on the 4 hourly. Again, if you change the time frame, you get a completely different look on this. Just show you a quick example. If I was to put this on the hourly, different chart. I like to stick on the 4 hourly on this GG indicator. We have went to green. If you entered this trade, you're up about 4 or 5%. Not bad. You start compounding that over time, you're going to do a lot of damage. So for me, ADA, does it beat the previous all-time high of about the $3 I think it got, give or take? Yeah, pretty much skiffed $2.90, $3. Does it do a 10x? I mean, if we look at previous all-time highs, we should expect solid coins to beat their all-time high. I think we're all going to expect Bitcoin, it already has beat its all-time high. Ethereum, we should expect that to beat 4.9k. We should expect that to go to maybe 6, 7, 8k, maybe even higher. So although nobody likes to talk about ADA and talk about what they're doing, they've got a lot of dApps, they've got a lot of technology, although none of us is really interested in that. We're here for the gains. I would put this in, again, we should expect it to do the 10 to 20x of an entry right now. Again, it's not everybody's favorite because there's better opportunities out there. But again, reasonable expectations, beating its previous all-time high, start scaling out, and you go from there. Now, Ethereum. Ethereum's a difficult one for me because it got me theoretically rich on paper, but I read it all the way down. It's hard to suggest people to buy Ethereum because most people want to make the 5 to 10x, even 20x gains. And if we're being honest, Ethereum's not going to go to $25,000, brother. I'm sorry. It's not going to go to $25,000 in this bull run. I'm really sorry for you. But does it mean you can't make money with this? You could do this in liquidity pools like we're doing. Let's just look at this real quick on the GG. And we are sitting, again, lovely entry here at about 2.3k, at about 2.5k. Nice little bit in profit. But a longer term look at this, if I'm being honest, I think you guys know where I'm going to put this. I think it's 2 to 5x. You're not going to see it in this category. You're not going to see it in this category. It's not going to make you go back to the wagey. You're not going to lose money in this if you're sensible with your profit-taking strategies. But 2 to 5x, I think that's an easy game. Now, Sui. Sui's been one of my favorite coins right now, mainly because I am absolute printing on liquidity pools and Turbo Finance. You can go and set this up if you want. A little life hack here. It has been absolutely printing with me on these APRs. I am spitting out so much Sui per day. Well, not so much Sui, like $50 in this one. I'll probably get by today. About 35 in this one. And maybe about 10 or 20 on this one. But again, I'm earning in Sui and USDC. So whatever a Sui I gain, even if I'm only gaining, let's just say 10 or 20 Suis in each of these pools, if Sui was still to do a 10x, it adds up, especially if you're compounding this. So that's a great strategy you can do. Just give you that for free. Turbo Finance if you want to set up a pool. If you don't, absolutely fine. But again, let's just go with Sui. It's been absolutely printing recently, as you guys know. We called it on the GG. I think I made a video on this like last week or so. And on the 4 hourly, it's having a run of its own, man. There's been some good news with Sui. The main problem I see with Sui, if you go back to its like all-time high, you don't really have anything. You've pretty much got absolutely nothing. We're almost at that kind of price discovery zone of like $2 again. I don't think it's going to rip up to there right now, but you never know with a coin like Sui. So Sui for me, unfortunately, it's not going to be that 10 to 20x. It's still going to be in here, but I think about, $8 or $9 is quite reasonable. But you know how you get a 10 to 20x with this? Either you start compounding on here, or you can do both. What we're doing is we're trading off this for our DCA bags and then compounding, and again, we're sticking profits in here. That's how you can take a Sui coin. Again, nobody will tell you this. You can take a coin of maybe a 2 to 5x to a 10 to 20x to a potential 50x if you're in this game long enough, like we have been in our pools. So I would put it here, to be honest, 5x, but I wouldn't be surprised with our strategy with the liquidity pools, etc., at 10 to 20x. Hopefully that makes sense because we're stacking more Sui for a better tomorrow. That makes sense. We don't have to put any fresh money. It's a beautiful strategy, something you want to look at. Now, BNB, I think that's BNB. BNB was one of the best gainers in the last bull run. I remember buying this by accident because I had to do some swaps, and it literally went from like $15 or so up to 624. BNB, obviously Binance's coin. They've always got BUSD, the stable coins. I don't typically like Binance. I'll be honest with you. The platform doesn't like me. I can't even go in there anymore. My account's completely banned. So my problem with BNB is it's almost like Ethereum. I think it will easily hit $1,000 in this bull run, but Binance are getting a lot of scrutiny, man. I think CZ left, he resigned, they've got a new owner right now, and he's kind of fumbling. They've got a lot of fees they have to pay, but here's the thing about BNB and Binance itself. Binance are a very, very, very profitable exchange. Okay, so if Binance have their own coin underneath a profitable business, a lot of these coins don't have actually a profitable business. How these coins typically work is they expect other people to buy higher than them. And that's absolutely fine. That's really what Bitcoin is. It's more of a store of value. But with BNB tied to Binance, they actually have a business. They actually have a profitable business. So that's something you guys need to be aware of. But again, Binance is 10x, 5x's, they're long gone. 2x, you'll be fine with this one. For me, you're not going to get a 10x of this. Let's be 100% honest. You're not going to get a 5.8k BNB. But you never know. I just think the market cap's too high. I'm not even going to bring this up on TradingView just because, again, I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I just think that's where I would put it. Luna, we talked about Luna. In fact, I'm not going to put Luna here, but let me just bring up actually Luna's chart because it's a different one. Obviously, you got other Luna, etc., but just Luna. What do you really do with this? I'm not touching this with, what do they say, a 10-inch knife or a 10-inch barbell or whatever. I'm not touching this. Doesn't mean you can't make money of this. I'll do you guys a little favor here. I'll bring up Luna because why not? And I'll just see where it's kind of at. Yeah, there's some trades on this, but to be honest, I wouldn't touch this coin. It could go anywhere, man. You just, obviously, if it went God tier, a million or so X, if it went back to its previous all-time, but we obviously know that's not going to happen. I'll put it in the 10X. Because, yeah, it's probably going to do that, but I wouldn't touch it. Bitcoin's obviously one that you guys already know the story of. It's not going to give you massive returns. It's a great kind of DCA coin to stack up Bitcoin for your future self. I think Bitcoin's a great strategy to stack up as like, hey, this is our future store of value. It's going to go up forever as long as cryptocurrency exists, and I think that's not going to go away pretty much in our lifetime. Let's be 100% honest. It stood the test of time. Problem with Bitcoin is the returns are going to be absolute lackluster, especially even if you're of a high net worth. Super high net worth, fair enough, but most people, in fact, probably 100% of people watching this video, it's not going to do anything for you. So we'll put it in 2 to 5. It's not going to get 5, but it'll probably still get the 2x. Now, Dogecoin is the leading meme coin. It stood the test of time. It's a great meme coin as it's probably going to be around forever. The memes here, it kind of started this whole trend. Elon Musk, I believe, is trying to do something with it, but he's having some scrutiny with payments, etc. It will hit $1 this bull run. I think that's absolute certainty. It's probably going to do that. But does it go to $2, $3? Nah, I don't think it does, brother. So if you're holding the Dogecoin at $5, $10, hey, you do you, brother. Just take your profits out at $1 and maybe start scaling out. So again, I would put Dogecoin at about the 9 or 10x, but I'll give it the 10x category. Now, Brett, I'm not here to shill Brett, but you all know my strategy. I'll just bring it up again so you can see it. Brett's a great coin if you want to put this in liquidity pools. It's stacking so much nicely. I'll just show you guys for full transparency. I have stacked 43,000 free Brett. Now, if Brett hits $1, like I still think it will, that's 43 grand right now. I've predicted by the time this bull market happens, I should be able to stack, give or take, about 100,000 to 150,000 more Brett. Now, again, if Brett hit that $1, it's an extra 150k of free cash, let alone the amount of Brett I've got in this liquidity pool of about 300,000. So for Brett, for me, it's always been a 300,000 to a $500,000 trade. Brett could obviously go to zero. That's the big risk I'm taking with this one, but for me, it made sense to enter a meme coin. I never wanted to make, let's just say, 5 or 10 meme coins where I had to put $2,000 here, $2,000 here. For me, on meme coins, it's either go big or go home. You guys can agree, you guys can disagree with that. It's up to you how you play this. I think Brett hits the $1 mark, e.g. give or take the $10 billion market cap. And that's just because it's the number one coin on memes or number one coin on base. And it's got a lot of, how we say, outside influencers starting to push this. It's struggling right now, but again, you know, I'm about a little bit up because I got in about pretty much $700 million market cap. I was up a lot more when it hit about, I think it hit, let me just see where this actually hit. I think it hit about 17 or so cents. So yeah, hit about that. For me, again, I'm putting Brett in here, But again, for me, Brett will be a 50x if that, liquidity pool starts paying off nicely, which it is doing right now, because again, I'll be able to scale out all this free Brett for absolute free. But for most people, I think just if you just want to buy it, it's a 10x absolute easy. HBAR. HBAR is a difficult one for me, just because I've held this for so long. It's probably one of the longest coins I've held. Haven't sold any, bar from a couple of trades we've done this on the GG. I'll bring that up because it almost, I hate to say this, man. I really hate to say this, because the long-term HBAR position, it's basically been a trader's coin. You can see here the entries, the exits, the entries again. HBAR was supposed to be such a good play, man. And again, it still could be that, but it's just, it's old tech. Nobody's interested about it. Nobody is talking about it. The founder just doesn't want to be advertising it. I don't know what they're really doing. I get they're building, they're all doing all this stuff, but they've got to get the word out there. No other YouTubers are talking about it anymore. That's why it's struggling. So for me, HBAR, I still think it can do a 10x, but it's struggling, man. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to leave it at that. XRP, I'm not even going to go into it that much. It's the exact same thing. It could go way higher. But for me, 2, 3, 4x. Could go way higher though. That's a difficult one. It really is, because it's not doing anything. It's almost became a trader coin for us. But it really has the potential to go up here, but I'm not seeing it. So that's why I would put it in there. Kaspa. Kaspa's a great one. I've never really held a great amount because I've been elsewhere, but you can't argue with what Kaspa's done all the time. It's just green all the way. It's very, very strong. The community is massive. It will hit $1 probably, but for me, it's just not that much interesting, to be honest. I've looked at other coins. I maybe will regret not buying this or buying as much. Like I said, I've got a little bit, but just for me personally, my mind's elsewhere. I might come back into it or heavier into it if we get a massive dip. But for me, just all this, I'm not really interested in it. But again, I'd put Kaspa about 6, 7, 8x. So, it will be higher, but I'm just going to put it in here. Render. Render is one that lost me a lot of money. Not because it lost me on money on paper. It's because I was looking at it about 50 cents. And I never took that initiative. I'll actually zoom it back out on the one daily here. You'll be able to see it. So I was looking at buying it here. I was in Thailand, I think, at the time. My mind was elsewhere. I was buying other shit. And I just missed the biggest opportunity of my lifetime because, again, it's a 25 or so X. It would have literally made me so much money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars I was going to put into this. But I kind of missed it. Now, again, does it mean Render can't go to 50 or 60, $70? Like, I actually think it will, because it's almost like the #1 AI coin. But for me, I'm really waiting on a big retracement. I've still got a decent amount, not as much as I would like. I felt like I've missed it. Maybe I'll meet my own words there when it goes to like $200, $300. But again, I just don't think it is going to do that. But regardless, Render will do a 10 to 20x. #1 meme coin, #1 AI coin in my opinion. What it's doing, an actual AI coin under deep-in category as well. I think it's great. 50x maybe, but I don't know. KRONOS, very similar to Binance, but it has the more potential of it. It's way cheap right now. The market cap's way lower. And that's where you could get, a 50x on this one. But to be honest, a 10x on this one will be 80 cents. The previous all-time high was about $1 or so. So will it beat that? Yes, I think so. Because here's #1. Just like we talked about Binance, they're a very fucking profitable company. They've got a lot of money. I still think they have the Staples Center. I'm not too sure. They're sponsoring UFC athletes again. They're sponsoring Karate Combat. They're going to be sponsoring Formula Ones as well. So there's a lot of money there. Their whole ecosystem is good, but again, I guess if you're looking at the cards and you're like buying 400k worth of Crow coins, etc., to get like the free Netflix, I think they're doing you a disservice because it's not really worth it. But in my opinion, Crypto.com will hit a 10 to 20x. It could go higher, but I think it's a bit, if you're looking at a kind of exchange coin, it'd be kind of #1 in my opinion. It'll beat Binance in terms of returns, but it's obviously a lot more riskier, right? Because they're smaller in terms of market caps. And that's really it. I would have loved to put one in God tier, but I don't think any on these lists has 100x potential. You'd have to look at really small market caps. A 50x, yes, some of these could cross over at 50x, like Brett could do super, super well, and it could cross over there. But again, how you get 50x's with these coins is #1, you can have an indicator like this, or #2, you start looking at liquidity pools, because then that's where you could take, for me example, I could bump up the Sui, and I think I will be able to do that, and then I could bump up the Brett, right? Because I'm stacking free coins, and you can do this with other coins that you're interested in. So let me know your comments below. I'll maybe do another one of these. What other coins would you like me to put in? I can put more newer coins, but I thought I'd want to do like OG coins, right? OG coins that people kind of forgot about. that I still think have good returns. Just because nobody's talking about them right now doesn't mean people are not going to be talking about them in the future, right? What everybody's not talking about right now, the biggest piece of advice, eventually word of mouth does spread and people start talking to them. E.g., nobody was talking about Solana before it pumped off. Nobody was talking about HBAR in the last week before it topped off. XRP kind of the same. Same with Caspa. Same with even Luna. Now everybody's talking about this shiny new little thing. But it doesn't mean word of mouth won't spread back to these. It's just something you need to be aware of. Peace, goodbye.